Today's show is brought to you by Genshin Impact, which is an open-world action role-playing game, and it is a cross-platform game. You can play it on PC, iOS, Android, and PlayStation. Genshin Impact won the Game Awards Best Mobile Game of 2021. Everything begins in a fantasy land named Teyvat, where the Chosen Ones have been granted visions by the Archons and become able to wield the power of the seven elements. You, a mysterious traveler, are about to embark on epic adventures in this free world where amazing friends with various abilities will join you along the way. Genshin Impact now inaugurates its 2.4 update with a brand new 5-star character, Shinhei, the Lonesome Transcendence. Thanks for Genshin Impact for sponsoring this episode of the GI Show. Download it today to unlock the vast magical world of Teyvat.
Welcome to the Game Informer Show, a weekly video game podcast releasing every Thursday. I am your host, Alex Stadnik, and as always, I'm honored to be joined by the illustrious Alex Van Aken. Nothing more, nothing less. Hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Alex.
You are so welcome. Thanks for joining us. And as everyone else is, join us each episode alongside a rotating crew of GI editors and special guests from around the industry as we bring you the latest news, reviews, and big man swag your eyes and ears can handle. This week, another fun one. Some news actually dropping before the show, which is a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Very excited for that. And we have a special segment this week. We wanted to get a little creative with the format. So we're going to be doing the spectacular video game draft of 2018, which I will explain later in the show.
Yeah,
but
I thought it's 2022. I'll have to stay tuned to later in the show, Alex, to understand.
Yeah, you gotta stick with me, kid. We're gonna go places. So, okay. But first, let's introduce our panel. You know him, you love him, the king of street comedy, the host of Video Gameography, Ben Reeves in the building. Hello, sir.
Hello. How's it going?
It is so good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Yeah. Good.
Fantastic. It just keeps getting better.
It keeps getting better and better. Just wait till the end of the show. He's literally going to be... It's like the meme where it's like the start with the brain and it goes to Galaxy Brain. You'll be Galaxy Brain by the end of the show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
here we go.
Too much fun here.
Yeah. Speaking of Galaxy Brain, the one and only, the king of late night has woken up early to join us. John Carson.
Hey, it's been a lot of late nights the last week. So... Yeah,
you had COVID, right?
I did. So it was naps during the day and then staying up way too late at night because that was just my sleep schedule. So trying to get back on track.
My whole family has COVID, like back on the East
no.
Coast.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, not me. I'm
not great. So I would not recommend it.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
So
good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah. But also I'm the meme where I'm the one who's like celebrating with champagne like way too hard, but I'm in like 100th place.
Yes,
on the pedestal.
You're flipping off the rest of like the people. Yeah.
That's me.
I love that. I love that energy for you. That's good. And then being on the first place pedestal, the one and only, the legend, Kim Wallace, K-Star in the building. Hello.
Hi, I'm here. I didn't have COVID, so can't really follow that. But
well, I'm happy about
first
that.
Place.
I'm alive and well. I'm alive and well.
Yeah. Definitely. I thought you'd be wearing the hat today with all the Kirby kerfuffle going on here.
You know what? I washed my hair today, so no hat.
About it. Yeah.
I respect it.
I get it. Speaking of Kirby, Alex.
Yes.
Let's dive into news right away here. The spring, I guess winter/spring, depending on where you are, release schedule keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Kind of like Kirby when he sucks up a big enemy. What's going on this week, Alex?
Yeah. So as of this morning, right before we started recording, we got new news. Yeah, that's a sentence. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Nintendo releases a new trailer for the game detailing some of the abilities, but in co-op. But the big news is a March 2022 release date. I didn't see that coming. It's coming out on March 25th on the Switch. We're going to be reading an article from the one and only Wesley LeBlanc from GameInformer.com. It reads, Kirby in the Forgotten Land was only just announced back in September of last year, but thanks to a new trailer for the upcoming game released today, we know it's releasing very soon. Thanks, Wesley. That's awesome. Kirby in the Forgotten Land was revealed as a spring 2022 game, which could have placed its launch during any of the year's earlier months, but today's trailer reveals that it will be released on March 25th. Wes goes on to say that the trailer showcases Kirby's new copy abilities, news that co-op will be a feature in the colorful post-apocalyptic title, which though that string of sentences I feel like is just that string of words is so weird. Colorful post-apocalyptic. I guess we've got Kirby and Biomutant kind of holding that
Truly
banner
dystopian.
down.
I'd say Breath of the Wild also fits in that.
Sure, yeah.
Horizon's pretty colorful.
Yeah.
Okay,
True.
all right. Well, all right. What else do we want
to... Hey, if anyone can pull it off, it's Kirby.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true.
Oh, I like your Kirby plushie, Kim.
It's very cute.
Very cute. Yes.
Yeah.
Continuing in the article, we are now quoting, looks like a press release. Join Kirby in an unforgettable journey on a delightful 3D platforming adventure. Explore in 3D stages. You discover a mysterious world and hail enemies to gain copy abilities like the new Drill and Ranger ability. Use these skills to save the kidnapped Waddle Dees from the Beast Pack. You can also bring along a second player to control Bandana Waddle Dee, the names in this game, Bandana Waddle Dee, and take on the Forgotten World. So Kirby can kind of become a mage. Kirby has like a new tornado ability.
He's also got a Glock, apparently. If you watch the trailer,
Wait, what? He's got a gun?
Shooting and looting now. Yeah, it's like an old timey.
He can become anything.
Yeah,
there are no.
So
limits.
why not a gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the bullet like pop out of his forehead? Where does he shoot?
It's like an old timey I don't know, like pirate's pistol that looks like a bugle where like it shoots out a ball type of thing. You know, I don't know, like
a blunderbuss.
A blunderbuss. Yeah. I like my description better personally, but you know,
bugle.
Shoot him like a bugle.
Yeah.
So how are we feeling about this, y'all? Anybody? I don't have affinity for Kirby. Like apart from Smash Bros, Kirby used to be my main.
Hell no.
I haven't played a Kirby game since the Game Boy Advance.
Alex, Kirby is the name you should know. He's the star of the show. Like, what are you talking about?
He's coming right back at you.
Right back at you.
What is happening? Are you're speaking gibberish to me? K-Star, as the resident Kirby expert, how are you feeling?
I'm good about this one. I feel like I like the shakeup of the setting with the island. Kind of seeing, this colorful, character and world, but also having that post-apocalyptic feel to it of things, in ruin, torn down. I liked looking at the abandoned amusement park, the mall, because that's what malls look like now, isn't it? But, I feel like it's a good shakeup that the series need. This also is like the first mainline Kirby that they're doing in 3D, which I think is also interesting. Today's the first day we got some look at some of those new copying abilities. I like the mole or gopher or whatever you want to call it thing where he can go underground and pop up at enemies. That looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We've only seen little glimpses of it, so it's hard to know, but I like what I'm seeing so far.
Me too. And I joke around about like not playing Kirby games. I guess I looked it up. I played The Amazing Mirror, and I do remember playing Air Ride. But apart from that, I'm not a Kirby fan. But this shakeup is kind of like what I didn't know I needed it. But once they revealed it back in September or whatever, it instantly became one of my more anticipated titles for the year.
And you're not just saying that because you host a podcast and you have to talk about this game, right?
No, for real. I am legitimately excited to play this game. I think it gives after playing Mario Odyssey, I just wanted more 3D platformers. And I wasn't expecting that to be Kirby, but I will gladly take it. Like the combat is different enough, obviously, from a Mario game, but it's kind of satisfying that 3D platformer itch that I have. And like Kim kind of talked about, the environments just seem super interesting and different for a Nintendo game. And so I'm really stoked on it. But Reeves, how are you feeling about it?
Like you, I've never been a Kirby guy. Everybody has their time they got to invest, and I invested mine in Zelda and Metroid, I guess. So, but yeah, this is one trailer that turned heads, as you said. So I will check it out.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that because I'm on a podcast talking about it.
The bosses have looked really cool as well, like that larger than life feel, and also just having you like have to pay attention more to patterns and stuff. Like I'm excited to see what else they have in store there. Like most excited to see if there's any other copying abilities that are new and different bosses and how they approach the design there. And if there's any new platforming abilities, I think with, also the addition of co-op, what does that mean? There's a lot of stuff that, like I said, they've only shown us so briefly, so it's hard to get a great grasp on it, but at the same time, looks promising.
Not to put you on the spot. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You go.
I was gonna say, how much do you think everybody loves Kirby because he's pink? Do you think that contributes to he stands out? There's not a lot of pink characters out there in the world. Do you think that?
Well, he's adorable too. Yeah. I mean, it's like.
But if he were green, if he were a green ball, do you think that would like make him less interesting?
I mean, there are green versions in Smash Bros.
I
never play them.
Yeah,
Kirby has been
that's a good point.
The pink is iconic.
You play the pink one, you play the one that looks like a ghost.
Yep.
Because if you think about it,
that's it. Those are
Kirby
the two Kirbys.
Kirby kind of defies like all of the principles of good character design. Like they always talk about like the silhouette like needs to be distinct. Kirby's literally just a ball.
He's a beach ball.
With arms and feet.
But he is now, though. I think if you saw his silhouette now and you saw his stupid little feet,
you'd be
like, oh, that's Kirby. Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Is that a direct facing seal or is that Kirby?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jigglypuff seen from above?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked. I think March is kind of the perfect time for this game.
Yeah.
I know Triangle Strategy is already coming out. That I'm just looking at our release schedule, GameInformer.com/2022.
March is shaping up. Like
it is.
February's shaping up.
So this is releasing the same day as Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
All right.
But I'm gonna play Kirby. That I'm putting my flag down in Kirby.
1000% playing Kirby. This game looks incredible to me.
John, I didn't ask you how you feeling about it.
No, so Kirby was a series when I was young, is one of my favorites. I remember like first playing it at a Sears on like a Game Boy kiosk.
Nice.
And not having a Game Boy, but just like every time I was at Sears, I had to go play Kirby. But I've skipped out on the last couple Kirby games, Star Allies and like Planet Robobot, but I'm ready to get back in the puffball shoes, I guess. No, like what I love about Kirby is like each game is pretty unique, and it's kind of Nintendo's testing ground for different ideas. And having like a big 3D Kirby adventure is kind of new for that franchise. So I don't know. It's like novelty wise, I think it's cool, but also just like as a new Kirby concept, I am very interested.
Yeah. Alex, how about you? Round us out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I genuinely have been a Kirby fan. I like 6.5 liked, 7 liked Star Allies. It was a nice like kick of nostalgia. By the end of it, I was like, okay, like I get it. It's time to. This would have been great as a kid, but like it's time to see something different with this character. And I think the last time we talked about it here, I was a little dubious of what this game was going to be, because if it was just a rehash of the same, Zelda hat and sword and, fire breathing abilities, like I wasn't interested, but they did the right thing. They showed a couple new abilities here today. I would imagine maybe we get a look at 1 or 2 more before release. And I hope there's some surprise when I boot up the game, and, the fun thing growing up about Kirby in the 2D space, like on the Game Boy, right, was that it did that sense of scale as best it could with the bosses, right? Where it's like, the tree was always bigger, like DDD was this looming figure that you had to fight, like the genie or whatever it was in Nightmare to Dreamland. There's always that like sense of scale and underdog. So it's like now in this 3D space, you can really play with that. And like Kim said, the bosses that we've seen so far kind of, embody that well. So I'm genuinely excited for this. am looking for more things to play on my Switch OLED right now besides replaying Hades.
Ooh,
So it's like,
gonna pop.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. So it sucks that it's coming out the same day as Tiny Tina because I'm excited for that as well. But
Kirby also sucks.
Kirby does suck. Yes, hard. He sucks hard.
Yep.
So
that's what he's known for.
Sucking.
But that's the news, Alex.
That is the news. So I'm looking forward to that. You said March 25th, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So March it's not quite. I think February has higher highs, but there was 4 games in March that I'm like day one. Triangle Strategy, Kirby now, Tiny Tina, and then there's one other one in March that I'm missing.
Tunic.
Yes, those are my like must plays for that month. So
is it still called Triangle Strategy? It's not.
It is. They dropped the project from it.
They did that with Octopath Traveler too, which we were all like, "Well, that's not a real name."
Don't be silly, Square. Yeah.
Well,
someone's
looking back, Octopath Traveler kind of makes sense for that game. So maybe after we play Triangle Strategy, we'll be like, "Oh yeah, there triangles,
are 3 sides to the conflict, and there is strategy."
Triangle Strategy is a better name, just inherently. Well,
then Octopath Traveler.
Octopath Traveler is a name so absurd it loops around and becomes awesome.
It's a Bravely Default.
Yeah.
Triangle Strategy is just kind of flat and generic. So
what Bravely Default, just like boldly normal.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's just like calling it what it is. Like,
what are our mechanics? Well, we have the Brave and we have the Default.
Like calling a car a Corolla.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Or a video game podcast, the Game Informer
I
show.
don't know.
Yeah.
Titles are hard.
Titles are hard. Yeah. Who did this? Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, there's something to look forward to in the if you're in Minnesota, the winter doldrums, because winter is almost year round here. So but yeah, I'm excited for that.
Today's show is brought to you by Genshin Impact, which is an open world action role-playing game, and it's cross-platform, so you can play it on PC, iOS, Android, and PlayStation. Download it today to unlock the vast magical world of Teyvat.
Moving on to something I'm even more excited for. We didn't have a ton of news this week. The game releases have been a little, we're warming up, right? Things are coming very soon here. So for one of the last slower weeks for the time being, I thought we'd spice things up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual spectacular video game draft for 2018. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. If you play fantasy football, you understand what's going on here.
I don't.
Yeah.
That's right. He said 2018.
2018, folks. We're set your clocks back. Yeah.
Why 2018?
So, why 2018? You ask him. That's a great question. So, what we're doing?
Because I asked that too, and he was just like, "Tell me to shut up."
I'll make it
on the mic
because SEO. Okay. No. So we're gonna do. Let me establish what this is first, and then I'll answer why 2018. So this is a new segment for the show that we're testing out here today. See if y'all like it. But basically, I've assembled this cunning, beautiful, talented panel here, and we're going to treat this like a fantasy draft, but from games with a certain year, and this time we're doing 2018. So there's going to be 5 rounds. Each person gets 1 pick, and if you're familiar with fantasy football or not, we're going to do snake draft order, which is, we have an established list and we go 1 through 5, but then round 2, number 5 picks, and then goes 5 through 1 and back and forth we go. So the reason we did 2018 for this was because this was, I love games from like 2020, the last 3 years, but I feel like 2018 is like the last like huge one. Cause originally I envisioned this as like, we would hit the big years, right? Like 07, 2018, 2017, right? Games like years that people go, oh, this changed games, So that was kind of my rationale behind it. I don't know why we skipped the other 3 years.
I think it's so that we could count down.
Yes, exactly. And then I thought about it.
Where are we going to start?
Yeah. And I said 20. Well, I said 07 first, but we can get there eventually if people
fascinating.
like this. So yeah. I know, right? This is inside baseball. So questions before I start to describe more of the rules. No.
What's a draft?
What are the rules?
All right. What's a draft? All right. So each editor will select 5 games from 2018 in snake draft order. Establish what that is. The goal is to create the best lineup that either you think is great or that you think the community will love, because that's another wrinkle in this that I'll get to in a second. We're going to call this next rule. And so I've set up a list of 30 games that came out in 2018 that my fellow editors have here now. So they'll pick, their favorites, what they think is the best from that year. They'll form their super team basically. So this is called, there's a wrinkle to this though. This is called the White Iverson clause, because my buddy Joe Iverson gave me this idea. Editors must choose at least one game from Metacritic's worst games of the year list. So, meaning, if anyone's familiar with fantasy sports, when you're in those later draft rounds, the cream of the crop is gone. You got to take the scrub bench players in case your other players get hurt. So we thought we'd spice this up a little bit, and you have to pick from the worst of the worst here, which I have the list of. So,
oh man, I'm looking at that first one.
Yeah, right. And I feel like there's some strategy there too, because even maybe you pick that one earlier, because you just have to pick one. It doesn't matter when you pick it, right? So it's like,
also, what if I like one of the worst games? Like,
then you're set.
Maybe I'm going for the community vote on a beloved, rough around the edges sort of game.
I'm not gonna help you with your draft strategy, but that's on you. Which brings me to the final point of this. It's after the show has been posted, community members get to vote on who wins the draft. So we're going to post on social and on Discord and stuff like that, all of our picks. And then we'll give you all a poll or choices. And you can tell us who won the draft according to the Game Informer community. And then we'll announce the results on the next show. And Green Bay Packers, John Carson is loving this down there.
Made it to the playoffs.
Look at him go.
I'm already in the playoffs at this.
Enjoy losing to the Cardinals in the second round, you jabroni. Anyways, so I'm not salty. I'm a Vikings fan. So questions before we kick this off here.
It means you're always salty.
Yeah, I'm always salty. Yeah.
Did you say how the community is figuring out what's the best?
Voting, right?
Yeah, they're just gonna vote. So we're gonna post if it's Discord. I haven't decided if we're doing Twitter poll or
we should combine them, Twitter poll and Discord poll.
That's a good idea. Yeah, so we'll put a Twitter poll up so people can vote on the poll. We'll put it in Discord, and people can put the little emojis on who they think will win. And I don't know if the winner gets anything or not, but maybe the thrill of victory, a crisp high five. I like that.
The last event we did, and I didn't get anything.
You won the last event? I know, yeah, because we didn't put any stakes on it before.
You guys still owe me a steak dinner for Game Awards 20.
I didn't get anything for Game Awards either, and I won.
What can I give away? What do I have in my house to give away?
You got a Pokemon card that Reeves, I'm sure, would love, right?
This might be the same one I said I'd give to Kim, but I've got this Eevee card that's been on my desk for
big Pokemon fan Ben Reeves here.
But it is bent, Ben, severely. So gross.
Ben, you could have this Trubbish instead.
Oh,
wow.
Great. Glad you guys are giving me a bunch of rub-ish.
Hey, literal garbage. Alrighty. So usually there's a countdown clock when you're doing fantasy drafts, but I think y'all can go pretty quickly. But without further ado, let us begin the spectacular video game draft of 2018. Alex Van Aken, you are on the clock. Let's get it going.
My first pick, a 2018 gem, spoke to me in many ways. Also incredible gameplay, great story, relatable, phenomenal soundtrack. Celeste.
Wow.
Ooh, that's your first one?
First pick off the board.
Top pick.
I love it.
Celeste is strong.
Go Art.
I was really hoping that one was going to slide to me at 5 there. But I should have known you would do such a thing. It
was my game of the year, 2018.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I have good taste.
Well, depends on the day. What spoke to you about it so much?
The story, the end of the 2017/2018. I was going through very rough places in my brain, in my noggin, and that was kind of the whole crux of the story of Celeste is Madeline, the main character, is trying to climb this mountain that is literal and a metaphor for life, and the characters' struggles and interactions with other characters, and the conversations that happen, and just the way that the gameplay also coincides with those narrative moments is just like really strong for me. I mentioned the soundtrack with Lane Rain, just like incredible, and also like the B-side remixes. They had like Too Mellow on there. They had a lot of people on there, but just as a whole package, as a 2D platformer, the mechanics that you get to use where you have like extra jumps, but you have to like touch. I'm not going to get into all the mechanics. If you played Celeste, you probably did. But just the mechanics were super interesting. It was really hard, which kind of, again, tied into the whole theme of overcoming adversity in that game. And just by the end, like when you reach the top of the mountain, you feel so accomplished, and like the story is, I mean, it touched me, and such a good game. And maybe a time and place thing, but I think like regardless, like it will hold up as like one of the best platformers of all time for forever. And yeah, it was my game of the year that year.
New Super Mario World, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Who said that again? What was the dumb person? Wesley?
The news hound himself.
Yeah, he's not even here, and he made me mad.
Here's an important question: have any of you ever climbed a mountain?
I have.
A real mountain. You have?
Mm-hmm. I've climbed the Flatiron.
Or is hiking count?
I've hiked a bluff.
I get out of bed every day.
I climb out of bed. Yeah, dang it, Alex.
I went to REI once.
I've done a really intense hike where it wasn't rock climbing, but I had to like scurry up in between rocks and like pull myself up like a 10-foot height.
Okay.
Look at this.
Pretty
It's a perfect
the Chautauqua Park in Boulder, Colorado, the Flatirons. I've climbed that.
Cool.
I've never climbed a mountain. I don't think I could do it.
I don't know if I could do it again. It was hard.
Yeah. Well, you've climbed this mountain, my friend. With the surprising first pick, he takes Celeste. It's off the board, ladies and gentlemen. John Carson.
Yes.
Ooh.
You've had some time. You've been ruminating. What are you taking with the second pick?
There's a few interesting strategies here. I'm inviting everybody over to my side with my number one choice, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
The hell?
Put
really?
it on the board.
Why is it surprising? That game.
I actually kind of thought he might do that. Yeah,
it's so popular and still
that's a good fan vote.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a great fan vote. You keep taking picks of mine though. That's why I'm frustrated.
It's that's
why.
Yeah. I'm in this to win this. Yeah.
Smash Brothers. It's one of the greatest fighting games ever made. They made a really great version of it with Ultimate. They put every character that's ever been in that series into that game, and more eventually. I know it came out late that year, but damn if it's not one of the best games of 2018, and one that I still play today compared to a lot of these other ones. So.
Now, here's a question. How do we factor in, I guess, how should our readers factor in games that have had continual content that extends past 2018? Do we just factor in, like, this is the game that was in 2018? I think a good example is, Smash, but also Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
Is another great example that came out that year. That if you're factoring in what it was in 2018... I don't know, but if you factor in like the game as it stands now, it's maybe a more noticeable pick.
I think because we're looking back at it, I think it's what it is today. Like its legacy. Like a lot of these games might not like have the legs that we thought that they would have in 2018, but like looking back, some of these do have more legs than we thought that they had in 2018.
Does somebody who didn't just pick Smash Brothers want to weigh in on this?
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. I have a different lens than John because it's like, well, if I'm drafting fantasy players in like 2018, I'm drafting them for that year. I'm drafting like, I don't know, who was like Calvin Johnson or something.
But you have the knowledge of what they've done since.
True. That's true too. I think here's the deal. I think regardless, I think viewers and listeners are going to vote on it with their hearts. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like
trying to frame things for people listening.
Yeah.
Are there any ground rules? But
I feel like that was the core of what it was going to be, and anything else that happened later were additions and whatever and improve the game. I mean, that's like what we live the culture we live in right now. But you can't argue, even when Smash Brothers came out, it was a good damn game. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would pick that number one with the roster that it had day one. So
Yeah. Cool. Who's your main?
Ness. Always.
Ness. Okay, that's right.
Good
I think
choice.
Since like N64. That's
Hell
been my
yeah.
main.
Yeah, I think you've frustrated me a couple of times with Ness when we played.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. All right. The picks are flying off the board, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Reeves, hit us with some knowledge here. What do you got?
I cannot believe that God of War and Red Dead are both still on this
Right?
list. But
Blown away.
So that kind of changes my strategy a little bit. I guess I'm gonna go with God of War. It was a Game Informer's Game of the Year that year, and it was, I think, I don't know. I don't want to get too debated here. I think it's better than Red Dead is where I'm going with it. And yeah, I'm super excited for Ragnarok. It's an amazing game. Just came out on PC, by the way, so
Yes, it did.
PC players can check it out.
Yeah.
God of War. That's it.
Is
Number
it,
one pick.
I thought that should have went number one personally, but is it the combat for you? Is it the story? Like, because were you a fan of the original God of War games? Like, what is it about that game?
It's all of the above. Yeah, I think they do. I was a fan of the original God of War games. Looking back now, you're like, man, this Kratos guy is kind of one note and not a great person. And they did a good job of keeping it in fiction, like reframing his character and showing a side of him that I think people can relate to a little bit more. He kind of, you reminded me a little bit of my grandpa. So it's just like, kind of that person who's got a hard edge to him, but there's a bit of humanity still to them that makes you, which was missing in the original incarnation of Kratos. Like, he didn't really feel like a human. So the story was great. I loved him and his relationship with his kid, but then also amazing combat,
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm jealous that that's on your roster. So, K-Star, let's go. What do you got here?
I'm going to go with my actual game of the year that year, which was Red Dead Redemption 2.
I knew I was getting too hopeful that it would drop to me. I thought you were
Are
going to
you at all surprised that you were able to get that one?
I didn't think I was going to get this at all when I looked at my position on the board. But I'm happy I did because I really, really enjoyed. Like I said, it was my game of the year. Arthur Morgan is a fantastic character, and doesn't help that he's easy on the eyes as well. I'm just going to say it. But, I liked living through, like, the thing that I felt like that game did really well is making you live through the experience, like starting out and, seeing where your group is going to go and helping with every little thing that you could do in that game. Like, I would stop and help people and I'd get burned and I'd be mad at myself, and just like there's just always so much going on, just walking around the camp, talking to people, learning about them and their troubles. And then that doesn't even throw in like all the shocking like narrative twists as you went on that like would not have paid off without having those slower moments that like made you feel that connection. I always thought they did that really well, and like I said, I enjoyed the quests, there's like the different variety to them and everything. Like, that world was so big and it had so much going on in it, and I just enjoyed being in it, even with some of the messed up stuff that went down. But still, that Arthur Morgan drunk scene from like the first few hours still sticks to me to this day. It's like there's so many like memorable moments, and that's like an easy one to pull out. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's Red Dead, and I'm glad it dropped to me.
Yes, a fantastic pick. Well done. Just like the Game Awards, y'all left Marvel Spider-Man in the dust. Didn't get it any credit, any shine, and that's what I'm here to pick here with my first round pick. Marvel Spider-Man off the board. Fantastic game. One of the best Spider-Man stories we've got in a while. I love Insomniac's narrative that they're creating with that world. I feel like it's unique. I think it's special to them, and they're taking characters that I love in different directions, which is really cool. And very emotional, like with the family aspect of that game. The combat kind of picked up the torch from the Arkham series for me, but Spider-Manized it, and it is one of the best feeling locomotion systems in any open world game ever. So love that game. Very happy that it fell to me because I did not think I would get this as well. My next pick gets hard because, like I said, so we're going.
Oh, I
so
forgot. Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at you. You were so ready to go. He was like, I'm going to take whatever, but no. This next one is hard for me because I already have the open world game. I think I know what the community likes, but it wasn't necessarily. It's not a game that I beat, and I already have my open world game, so I'm kind of working out my strategy on the fly here. But I think I got to do it to him. I think I got to take Assassin's Creed Odyssey here.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a fantastic game. I just think sorry, I'm taking a note here. I think the community likes it a lot. I definitely enjoyed it. I didn't beat it though. That's the problem.
It's long.
It's a long game.
Really long.
To be fair,
It's an odyssey.
It is an odyssey. Yeah, I think
Out
it's
of
one of
Valhalla and Origins, though, I think it's probably the best one of those three out of that iteration
I agree.
of
Ubisoft's
re-envisioning of Assassin's Creed. I think Odyssey is probably the best one of those.
And I think it had that's largely to do with Cassandra. She is fantastic. You know, the setting is one of my favorites with ancient Greece. It is to piggyback of what Reeves says. It's my favorite of the new style of Assassin's Creed. And I think
The Skyrimming of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I probably put a good 20 to 30 hours into it. So I definitely enjoyed my time with it, but just got a little long, you know. But I heard the DLC is amazing. So pretend I'm like, you know, all hyped on the DLC. Oh,
Did they just release some new DLC for it recently?
I know they're doing Valhalla, but
I think they did like
Odyssey.
one for each and for like a crossover between the two.
Okay.
So
gotcha. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah. So that's my pick. I'm going to be, you know, between those two games, I have hundreds of hours of gameplay to go now. So I'm good. Life is good.
Dope.
Yeah. Kim, take us
Yes,
back around
well,
here. What do you
I
got?
was between two games and you took one, so you just made my decision really easy. So thank you for that. Monster Hunter World, baby.
No.
I totally misplayed this. Well, no. I'm happy with my pick. Still my number one, but I was thinking I hopefully nobody picks mine. But
Okay.
sorry. Go ahead.
See. Keep going. Yeah.
Because you all thought we would pick Celeste in the first round?
No. None of these are the ones I'm going to pick next. So I'm good. Yet.
I think Monster Hunter World brought so many people into that series, and I was one of them who for years was like kept trying the Monster Hunter games and just they weren't clicking with me. And then World came out, and oh my god, I have over 500 hours in that game.
Whoa.
It was a game too that I had a lot of fun playing with friends, and I think like that just made it all the better. And I loved having my pink gear that I could put on and finding different ways to being like, oh, that's really cool. I want to, wear that outfit now, or that gun looks really cool. I'm a light bow gun user, by the way.
Nice.
So yeah,
Come at me. Yeah.
I can't deny, like I said, this is what put, I feel like, Monster Hunter really on the map in North America. And so I got to get it cred.
Credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay. All righty. They're flying off the board, folks. The open worlds are saying goodbye. Reeves, you're on the clock.
Okay. Hitman 2.
Oh,
That's a good one.
It's I think Hitman 3 was maybe peak enthusiasm for that series in a lot of ways, but I think 2 basically perfected that formula. It laid the groundwork for 3. I think maybe I even still like 2 better than 3. It's a great game, and I think people really like it.
it has
Fun series.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but people largely credit Hitman 2 with one of the best levels in that series, right? Or am I making that up? Could be thinking.
Which level are you talking about?
I'm
Miami?
not sure which one. Is it Miami?
Miami's great. I know a lot of people love the the detective one from 3.
That one is so good.
The Knives Out one a lot as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think
That was going to be my pick.
I was going to say what's even better about it is you took VA's picks. Now he's scrambling. The man's
Dang it.
scrambling.
Right.
Yeah.
He's sweating.
Yeah, look at him.
This is
First-
how fantasy goes, man. You're learning firsthand the burn.
Yeah. Now imagine putting $150 a piece on this and then see where your burn is at. Oh my God. I
I'll
have a
put like
problem with
15 down or something, but
There you go. Yeah.
too rich for my blood.
Yeah. All right. Carson, what do you got?
Yeah.
What's next? Take another one of Alex's.
I'm not just going down from the top of the list here, but Forza Horizon 4 is going to be my next pick. I think it changed the game for the Forza Horizon series. I wasn't super interested in the previous entries, but adding in the seasons system and having like essentially four different versions of the England countryside, I think was really cool and really set the bar for that series that they are absolutely matching with 5. So for also adding the Eliminator, which is a great battle royal for racing games.
Yeah. Good pick, sir. Do you have anything left, Alex, or do you just want to call it quits at this
You
point?
want to, yeah.
Do you want to forfeit the rest of your picks?
I get 2 picks now because of the snake draft.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I've got picks. I'm just trying to figure out what's going to resonate with people, but also stay true to myself. You know.
Okay. All right.
Oh man. I think my next pick is going to be Dragon Ball Fighters.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
A fine pick.
Yeah, Arc System works. Just knocked it out of the park. Best Dragon Ball Z fighting game, hands down. I've played a lot of them, not all of them.
Hands down.
Ultimate Battle 22.
The shade at Budokai you just threw.
I mean,
All right, Budokai was great.
Coming out of my nostalgia.
Budokai was great in
it's not really a
elementary
fighting
school.
game.
Are you gonna Dynasty Warriors me with Jay here?
Yeah, it's a game for babies, Budokai.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Dragon Ball Fighters, just the one-to-one like animation, like the recreation of the classic animations from the show, and even like they're like recreated some like manga panels as well during some of like the ultimate moves and like just like the back and forth between characters. And as a person who I don't play a lot of fighting games, but this game was like it had a lot of depth, but it was also I felt like it was easy to approach in terms of like its matchmaking was like pretty quick. I could pick like multiple character. I don't know. I just had a blast.
3 Gokus on your team. That's pretty sweet.
Like pretty cool. And like I felt like it was really rewarding to like finally get like a 15 hit combo down after like practicing for like 2 weeks. Like again, not a big fighting game player, but the subject matter, the presentation, and just like I wouldn't say the mechanics are, I mean, they're approachable as any fighting game, not as approachable as like Guilty Gear, Strive, but like they were complex enough for like fighting game veterans to be able to just quickly like find their character in their pocket and just like go to work. But people like me, who I would say like are more novice fighting game players, there were those characters that we could pick and try to find like a, try to strike out like a niche for us. Like, okay, I want to play more of like an up close in your face character, or I like Trunks, so I'm gonna like check out his moveset. It was just a really great fighting game and one of the best of 2018 for sure. Also, it's Dragon Ball Z, and I am trying to go for the community vote for that one.
There you go.
But I love that game as well.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
No. Nope. I was gonna keep hyping you up, but keep going with your next pick.
This next one is interesting. Do I go for a classic reimagined? Do I go for a bold strategy title? Do I go for, just a gorgeous remake? Which
Go
do
for
I
broke.
Go for broke, huh?
Go for broke.
Get broke.
I don't know if you've looked down at the bottom of the list, but The Quiet Man is on here.
Still on the list,
Yes.
Begging to be picked.
I didn't play this game, but I love the original. And I did play. I booted it up. I was like, this is gorgeous. I'm going to come back and play this. But the Shadow of the Colossus remake
Ooh.
is going to be my third
You got me
pick.
back, Alex.
Yep.
I was curious where that one was going to go.
Yeah, that's going in my roster of games. And what to say about? I mean, I can only talk about the original game. The original game is just an iconic boss rush. I mean, it's like I feel, is that the game like where we get the I guess Mega Man would be a boss rush, so never mind. But like I don't know, it's just like one of those all-time greats, the original, and a subtle narrative that kind of like when you first play it kind of strikes you. Like once you're at the end of that game, yeah, it just like has a way of like saying very little but saying a lot. And also just like the mechanics of being able to like the inventiveness of what if I could climb this giant creature, and that's how I had to take it down, was like not with like some cool special ability, but like literally just like getting up on it, climbing it, going to the top. Like it just like what an inventive idea. And the remake is gorgeous. It feels great. I did play it for a little bit. It feels good. But that reminds me, I need to download that and go check that out while we're waiting for some of the bigger releases this year. But yeah, Shadow of the Colossus remake. It's my pick.
There you go. Dolan from Reeves's grasp.
I'm feeling pretty good about my list. I know it's not, all the heavy hitters, but I'm happy.
There you go. Okay.
Life is good.
All right. I'm happy one person is happy with your list. That's great. John Carson.
Yes.
What do you got?
I feel like this would be slept on quite a bit and has been so far. I'm glad that it fell to me. But Into the Breach is one of the best games of 2018. Hands down. Like it is hands down.
You're not wrong.
A fantastic strategy title with incredible depth that you could just play for days and days and days. It's from the developers who made FTL, one of my favorite roguelikes of all time.
Yep.
And they followed it up with an absolute banger. So Into the Breach, we're just gonna put that on my list with I'd say the best list so far with Smash Brothers and Forza.
Happy you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good pick. I think the community will enjoy that. That
was going to be one of my. I was thinking about that one.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked it. It deserves.
You shouldn't be telegraphing your picks, man.
Well, they're already taken, so
There you go. You're
all right. Fair enough.
Reeves, after being scorched by Van Aken here, what's your follow up?
Yeah, let's see if I can get it back. I'm thinking Tetris Effect is a good option because it's, if nothing else, it's Tetris, right? So even if you haven't played it, I think people will give it up because they know what the game is. But it's Tetris, but better, if that makes sense. And it's not
the
because
best
they add
version of
mechanics.
Tetris.
It is, yeah.
Fact. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not because they're like messing around with the gameplay. Like that's all intact. They're just layering on top a gorgeous, stunning visual and music set that just makes you jump right in. And you can zone out while playing that game, and if you feel like you're transported into another reality, it's so zen-like and fun. And if you have VR, you should check it out in VR too, because that's more immersive. It's a great game.
I bought hardware for that game. I bought a PSVR just to play Tetris Effect. It's beautiful. I should be hyping up your picks, but
yeah, it's bad community. It's a bad game. You don't want anything to do with it.
It's only Tetris.
Yeah,
you've been playing that for years.
Yeah,
this old dusty game.
Yeah, I wasted a pick on that
from the 80s.
It is breathtakingly beautiful on the Switch OLED too. So if you have a Switch OLED and want something to play on it, it is that game just doesn't miss. It is so good. But speaking of so good, Kim, what other game are you gonna rip from me before I can pick it?
Can I go off the board?
You can. We said yes, right? I think this was like the main list.
Oh.
But if you want to go, rogue, let's go rogue.
Going rogue. The Return of Obra Dinn.
Assassin's Creed Rogue.
The Return of Obra Dinn. Okay.
Oh, I should look at the rest of the year because I didn't know that was that year.
Yeah,
I double checked that it came out that year.
Why wasn't that on this list, Alex?
Right? Excellent puzzle game. Trying to figure out how people met their demise on this boat, and I just remember like really really enjoying that story
Mm-hmm.
and piecing everything together as I went through it. So
Okay.
I didn't have any puzzle going on in my block, and this was the one. This was
There
the
you go.
puzzle game to play that year.
That and The Witness are the two puzzle games that have always been celebrated that I've never gotten to. And obviously, I left it off the list for that reason. So, my apologies to one Ben Reeves, but it looks like Kim thought it's outside the box, and here we are. Okay. So now it comes back to me, and I'm wondering if I need to be true to myself or go for some wins here. I think I can do both. Okay. Knowing our community and what they love, I think I'm going to go. Oh, see, this is hard because there's two games on here that I want to pick that I know maybe didn't get the love that they wanted, but I think they're fantastic games. You know, let's go with the first one that I'm going to pick regardless, and it is the best love story in video games. That, my friends, is Florence.
Wow.
Beautiful,
Hell of a game.
beautiful game. Not 824, excuse me. Annapurna produced or published Joints, that is a contemporary love story that I actually played on mobile. I know it's on everything now, but like just a very smartly designed game for the platform, but also told a very relatable, down to earth and beautiful love story, which I know video games aren't usually like necessarily like people aren't necessarily looking for that always, but I think in a medium so overwrought with, you know, violence and action and that kind of stuff, like Florence was just a perfect change of pace for that. And there's no like I see it on Switch online or the eShop now for like $4 every other week. Like there's no reason you shouldn't play Florence at this point. It is fantastic. So and then I gotta go Dark Souls Remastered next. I think I gotta do it. I gotta appease our audience here with this one. I genuinely like this game. I was playing it on Switch, which I know that's not the place to play it, but it was a nice kind of like peek into why people love this game. And I was cruising along until someone broke into my car and stole my backpack. And I happened to had Dark Souls Remastered in my backpack. I think I've told that story on the podcast before.
No.
So it was literally robbed from me, that experience.
Someone get this man a copy of Dark Souls Remastered.
Quick stat. Hit me with it. But just, you know, it was a moment where I was like, okay, I get this. I get the fandom behind this. And I enjoyed it well in the fleeting time that I had it. So there you go. That's my list. What are you going to do? Kim, what do you got?
So I've got the open world game here. I got the co-op game, puzzle game. Now I need a narrative based game. Life is Strange 2. Boom.
Done. On the list. This is either people love this game or don't like this game. It was
It was pretty well regarded, but not a lot of people
That's most games,
played
right?
it.
Yeah.
Because the release schedule was not great for it. They kind of were trying the episodic, so many months between episodes and stuff, but it was really cool because as an older brother, you kind of got to shape the direction that the younger brother went in, which was really cool. And they also like dealt with some issues that they hadn't yet in the series, particularly to like racism, all that. And I thought they did a really good job. So this was the last one, I believe, that Don't Nod worked on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they did a fantastic job. Like, it was I liked how different it was from the first Life is Strange, which maybe like some people weren't in love with, but I thought they told a really cool and interesting story, and it had all the emotional gut punches, and you really did feel protective over the younger brother and all that by the end.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, once I put that on the list, I was like, I wonder if Kim is going to take this one or not, and she did. Look at that.
Predictable.
Not a bad thing. Reeves, what's your next one?
Yeah, this is getting harder because it's like, all right, well, definitely some turds on this list that I don't want.
Yeah.
But people keep skipping over this, and I'm like, okay, I know it's not one of the most beloved ones, but Call of Duty Black Ops 4 it's not the best Call of Duty for sure, but it was still solid. It's definitely broad appeal is what we're going for. And they don't have a shooter yet.
It introduced Blackout, right? Like their first
I believe so.
Their first battle royal, which was pretty fun.
It was very good, yeah. Black Ops multiplayer. I had been away from the series for like Advanced Warfare and a couple of those. And Black Ops 4, I came back and really enjoyed my time with it. So I think that's a good pick. John.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's gone, but you're gonna pick.
I did some excavating. And
Okay.
I found a great game that is not on our list.
Oh.
It is it's a really big RPG actually, and I'm surprised it didn't make it. That is Dragon Quest XI, which released in North America in 2018.
John just got the steal of the draft.
I don't know what more can I say. It's one of the best RPGs in the last few years. If you're looking for a traditional turn-based fare, it's playable on literally everything now, and incredible.
I don't associate that game with 2018.
Neither do I.
Yeah,
slip on my part too.
Huh. So yeah, because it was 2017 in Japan, it still counts because it was here in 2018. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. He's correct. It was 2018.
Well, yeah, in the US.
Yeah, because that's the first time we would have been able to play it, even though I wanted to say no, because that was a really good pick.
It's a good pick.
Yeah. Damn you, John Carson. I guess we give it to him.
Yes.
Chat, just know that he cheated.
I have to pick a terrible game next. So
yeah, we all do. Yeah, unless Alex gonna shape things up here. Dragon Quest was a very good pick. I'm annoyed now. Van Aken, what do we got here? Take us home. Finish your list here.
In his arrogance, thinking that he knew all of the best games of 2018. All of you thinking you knew the best games of 2018. You left out one of the year's biggest hits, universally acclaimed indie gem, Dead Cells.
Oh, was that 2018 or
that was 2018?
Not
Alex
as mad,
isn't
but-
allowed
Well,
to.
so wait, do we count stuff? Is it in early access in 2018?
It released in 1.0 in 2018.
I think the 1.0 would be what we would go with.
It would, yes, it would have to be 1.0, but it sounds like it did, right?
Yep,
You're not fibbing.
August 2018, it went into 1.0.
I thought you were
Yeah,
going to
he's
drop like a
correct.
Fortnite on us.
No, I was trying to.
Yeah.
I was trying to. I really was.
Still in beta, sir.
Yeah.
I'm learning that I shouldn't have just focused on this list, Alex.
If you want the inside baseball, I went to Google, did top games of 2018, and just copied the first like 30 of them. Okay, blame Google for all of your woes. You know,
Already do.
I'm just.
You better add that to my list, Alex.
They got about 20 of them.
It's been added.
I don't see it on my end.
Refresh your damn. Wait, hold on.
No.
Okay,
it's not
that should be
there.
there.
You gotta press enter.
Enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I get first pick on Metacritic's worst rated games.
You do.
Which we can run down for the audience here, and that.
So we're
is-
supposed to have 5 total, and one of them is bad. Is that?
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the list as it stands is The Quiet Man, Gene Rain, which sounds like a film critic.
It's
doesn't sound
awful.
like a
It's
video
real
game.
bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Fantasy Hero Unsighted Legacy, Agony, Past Cure, Super Seducer How to Talk to Girls, One Piece Grand Cruise, Hollow, Underworld Ascendant, and Shaq Fu, A Legacy Reborn.
A legend.
The legend himself, Shaq Fu. So there's a lot of stank on this list here.
Mhm.
So, but the community could like think it's a meme, right? If I get a good one.
We can't tell the community how to think.
It's community interpretation.
Like, is there a best of the worst?
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna go. I just saw so many Giant Bomb videos and reactions on this one. And just in general, people, the ridiculousness of this game. The Quiet Man is my pick.
Yeah, you can't not, right?
Yeah,
that's
Yep.
the best of the
I would have
worst.
picked
the
that
cream
one.
of the crop.
Yeah.
So that's my
Icky.
list.
We'll recap the lists here at
Yeah.
the end of this, viewers. But John Carson, what
Yeah.
stink train are you going with here?
So I gravitate towards something I would play, and I think actually did play back in 2018. That's One Piece Grand Cruise.
Yeah, it sounds like a John Carson game.
That's a John Carson game. It is a V. I looked it up before this because I'm like, oh, One Piece. How bad could it be? It's a VR cannon shooting competition on the One Piece ship. There's some weird. There's some pretty gross like VR moments with some characters. It seems. But the bulk of the things that are happening there are cool One Piece things that I would want to see in VR. So I think it stands above just for that. But there's some embarrassing looking stuff.
Yeah, as there tends to be. Okay, it's a very John Carson pick. I'm here for it. Reeves, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. One of the worst games that year.
No.
Yes, yes, I support it.
It's not on the Metacritic list. You can't take it.
All right.
Which
All right.
one?
I tried.
Tomb Raider.
I don't know anything about this game. Hollow. I've never seen it at all. I'm picking it because I'm hoping people will be in the same boat and be like, I don't know what that game is. I'm not going to knock them for it. And
Or they'll
maybe
think
at
it's Hollow
best-
Knight.
That's exactly. I was thinking maybe they'll
Ooh.
confuse it for Hollow Knight and give me a bump.
You get a point. Yeah. That's smart. That strategy. I like that. I'm here for it. Kim, how about you?
I am tapping into the power of Shaq Fu.
Damn it, Kim.
Yes.
Oh,
Smart.
I was gonna
recognition.
pick Quiet Man or Shaq Fu.
Smart.
that's so good. I'm sure it's like a serviceable beat 'em up, right? Or maybe it's just completely broken. Who knows?
The power of Shaq, man.
Yeah. He brings people together. He's a beautiful man.
I saw him wrestle last year. He still got it.
He was wrestling
Oh yeah, he went through a
Shaq
table.
can do it all.
when we hit the Super Bowl here. He had a DJ set that I really wanted to go to, but it was like cover charge was like $150. I was like, my guy, I'm not paying to see Shaq for $150 if he's not
it's a
open.
tall
He's
price
worth
to
maybe
pay.
10.
DJing and wrestling. Is there anything he can't do?
Probably bend over at this point. His knees are probably shot.
Yeah, that's right. Fit
Poor
into
man.
my shoes.
Yeah. All right. So now I sit here with a lot of stank to pick from, and nary a clue what most of these games are. Because I don't know if the community is gonna respect. Like they could either go the Reeves route where it's ambivalence, or it's like maybe I just take the stinkiest gem, and they respect me for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Super Seducer has got to be one of the most problematic bad games on this list, right? It's got to be. So I think I'm gonna go with that.
You're hoping people will respect you for that?
That's what I'm hoping. I just can't believe that is an actual video game. I guess
think-
with the Steam shovelware I can, but
I think it's spawned sequels, so
really?
it's at least a success in
fan
that,
base.
right?
Yeah.
But a lot of these games are bad. Like, The Quiet Man is bad because it's just poorly made and like absurd and dumb. Super Seducer is like gross and kind of evil.
Probably.
It's true.
Yeah.
Great pick, Alex.
Thank you. I have to rethink my entire life.
Just light yourself on fire.
Really, really going for it here, chat or viewers. I keep saying chat. I apologize. And okay, because
They're chatting somewhere.
they're chatting about why they never want to listen to me again. Because the last pick in the NFL draft is called Mr. Irrelevant. I'm hoping that the Super Seducer game is irrelevant and we don't have to think about it again. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the spectacular video game draft of 2018. Let's recap our list, shall we?
Let's do it.
Picking first, Alex Van Aken. I'm just going to go down everyone's list. So Alex picked Celeste, Dragon Ball Fighters, Shadow of the Colossus Remake, Dead Cells and The Quiet Man. John Carson picking Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Horizon 4 or Forza Horizon 4, Into the Breach, Dragon Quest 11, One Piece Grand Cruise, Reeves coming in hot with God of War, Hitman 2, Tetris Effect, Blops 4, and Hollow, everyone's favorite,
That Hollow Knight knockoff.
Horror game.
Yep. Let's see. Kim, with one of the steals of the draft, got Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Return of the Obra Dinn, Life is Strange 2, and Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. Rounding things out with the last pick, I took Marvel Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Florence, Dark Souls Remastered, and Super Seducer, How to Talk to Girls. I'm going to regret that one for a long time. Couple
Did
of
you tell your
available-
fiance? Are you going to tell her what you did?
No,
I've already
she
texted
doesn't know that
her.
one. Have you? Yeah, sweet. You put me on blast. Cool. Couple of available games. Here's the list of games that came out this year that weren't picked. Far Cry 5, Octopath Traveler, Donut County, which was the one I was considering outside of Dark Souls. I love Donut County. That game was so good. Fallout 76, the MVP, the Ben Reeves MVP, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Sea of Thieves, Battlefield V for victory, Ni no Kuni 2, Pokemon Let's Go, Grease. Is it Grease or Gris?
Grease.
Yeah. The Messenger and Mario Tennis Aces.
Also, I almost threw it on because it came out that year, but Yoku's Island Express.
That's a good
Great
game.
That was a good one.
Great
Game.
pinball Metroidvania game.
Mega Man 11, also that year.
Why wasn't that on the list?
Y'all said it too
Alex?
fast.
Y'all
Everyone
need to put your own list together, okay?
Yeah,
Number
next
6.
time.
Yeah. Reeves is the master of the list here.
How are we looking? What do we think about the lists right now? Like, who do we think is going to win?
Can we
after
do
all?
trading?
I think
Okay, yeah.
Kim's is super strong. Like
Yeah.
like looking at the top 5. Top 4?
Now everyone's gonna vote against me out of spite.
No,
No.
it's, I mean it's mostly social media people. who are-
Alex is
who are
pretty
voting.
good. I think mine's pretty strong. Well, I think John's is targeting a very specific audience. with his,
These are games
Yep.
I would play.
and that could be a good direction, good strategy.
Yeah.
I can't.
tried
believe
going for
God
the
of
indie vote.
War slipped
Yeah.
to Reeves at the 3rd pick.
Yeah, that's nuts. And Red Dead too. Once John took Smash, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get one of the 3 best open world games that year. And then I ended up getting 2 of them.
Reeves' list is actually probably closest to what I would have picked. Add in Celeste to his list, and like I was going for Hitman 2 and Tetris Effect.
Mhm.
And I like God of War as well.
I was gonna pick Monster Hunter first.
I actually thought you were gonna do that.
I thought it
did.
would slide because of the group that's here. I didn't know that you put 500 hours into
Yeah.
it. So shame on me for
I love that game.
Yeah. No, shame on me for picking Super Seducer. I feel strongly about my list. I'm
Dirty.
here for it. Yeah, dirty boy. I am curious to see if our community played Florence. I think if they have, I got a good shot at this. If not, then I like Reeves' list probably out of the top ones. So, but
I think it's Reeves and Kim for the number 1 spot.
that Shaq Fu boosting her, Shaq, big part of the GI Discord. If you don't know, we talk about
he's
him a lot.
tall. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
maybe the biggest part of our.
He is truly the biggest. Yeah.
All
he's
I
the
think
biggest.
about is that "How I Beat Shaq" song, and it just drives me
From
nuts.
Aaron Carter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I grew up
Yeah.
with that. That was the dream. Every kid wanted to beat Shaq back in the day. So, alrighty. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, revel in our success here, and then we're gonna come back to you with some housekeeping and community emails. Let's do it.
Today's show is brought to you by Genshin Impact, which has just released its update 2.4 with a brand new 5-star character, Shinhei, the Lonesome Transcendence. Download it today on PC, iOS, Android, and PlayStation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Game Informer Show. Alex Van Aken, you have some housekeeping to do, if I am not mistaken.
That's correct. This week in housekeeping, top of the housekeeping is a new podcast review. Of course, if you want to help us out, you can go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a written review, or head over to Spotify and rate us on there. Of course, leave an honest rating, an honest review. This week, our review is from Dragons All Day 123. Saying 5 stars. I look forward to it every Thursday. It's easy to listen to with a funny and knowledgeable crew. Thank you, Dragons All Day, for that little review. We appreciate you taking 5 minutes out of your day to go and do that. It does help us out a lot when people are, prospective listeners want to check out a new show. I know for myself, I go and read reviews of a show I'm interested in checking out. So thanks for doing that for us, Dragons. We appreciate you and appreciate your kind words. Thank you.
I like the name too. It's a good name.
Yeah, it
All
is.
day.
All day.
Yeah.
I hope that you vote for me since I had Dragon Ball Z on my draft list. Just saying.
I had a whole quest of dragons on mine.
Yeah.
11 of them.
Yeah, that's true.
I had a god.
That's true. You did have a god.
Fair. That's fair.
And a boy, who I guess is a god. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Spoilers, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's the son of a god. Of course, he's a god. Okay. That's how family works.
When he asks you if you're a god, you say yes. Never mind, different movie. Continue.
Weekly Thursday stream. This week, Dan Tack streamed Dark Souls 3. Our weekly streams are every Thursday at 2 p.m. So if you happen to be listening to this and you get to this part of the show, there might be time for you to go and watch it live. Twitch.tv/Game Informer. Of course, you can go check out the archive. But if you are wanting to tune into our weekly streams, it's every week, every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central. Again, Dan played Dark Souls 3 this week. I'm sure it was great. It hasn't happened in our timeline yet, but I'm sure, in your timeline, it was fantastic. We also, Alex and I kickstarted a new kind of streaming sub-series on Mondays called Multiplayer Monday. You guessed it. We play multiplayer games on Monday. And this past week, we played Halo Infinite. I think we're talking about Deep Rock Galactic. That got a lot of votes in the Discord, as well as Dead by Daylight. So I think we're still nailing down a time, but mornings, Alex, 9 a.m. Central.
That's what I would like to do.
Okay.
Like either 8:30 or 9 so we can start the day off right and,
Okay.
so I can get my butt out of bed earlier and that kind of stuff too.
So we're going to say right here, right now, 9 a.m. Central on Mondays.
There it is.
Multiplayer Monday.
Wow.
We did
Are
it.
we streaming this week, Alex, since we have the day off?
No, we're going to stream on Tuesday because we should take the day off. This will be my first Martin Luther King day off for a while. It's Kim's birthday. We have to take it off.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a rule.
So Multiplayer Monday is happening on Tuesday. We should have waited to launch this, huh? I didn't know we had the day off.
Yeah, we were streaming when we were streaming on the meeting where we found out that we had Monday off. So that's on us. Yeah.
But going forward, Multiplayer Monday is 9 a.m. Central. Thursday, weekly streams at 2 p.m. Central. Twitch.tv/Game Informer. Let's, you want to follow us on the social medias. Follow Alex Stadnik at Stadnik76. You can follow me at It's Van Aken. Follow Mr. Ben Reeves at Benjamin Reeves. Follow John Carson at John_Carson. And follow Kim Wallace at Kstar1785. Of course, check out our other video game podcasts, Video Gameography, and All Things Nintendo. All of our shows are featured in iTunes right now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I know we're getting a surge of new listeners, so it's been great. So if you are looking for like a video game, I call it a video game history show, Ben. Like, where you go back and replay series and kind of dissect them and talk about what made them special game by game. It's a really cool series hosted by Ben Reeves and Marcus Stewart. And then All Things Nintendo is our weekly Nintendo podcast, the latest Nintendo news. I'm actually going to be on the next episode. So I think we're talking handhelds, Analog Pocket, gaming, Nintendo handhelds, the whole 9 yards. So
nice.
Tune into All Things Nintendo. And Alex, that is all of housekeeping this week. Over to you for listener emails.
Yeah, buddy. This time of the show is the best because we get to hear from you, the lovely viewers, listeners, the people who write in questions, games, comments, concerns, the whole thing, dreams and nightmares. You love to see it. And how do they do this? They send emails to podcast@gameinformer.com. It's a way to do it. You can also enter our Discord, which Alex Van Aken is going to tell you about right now.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Game Informer. It's where you go for the streams, like I said. But also, if you want to join the official community Discord, you just have to subscribe one time. That should get you an invite to the Discord, and you can leave questions for the GI show, talk to our community. If you have any issues, send me an email, alexvanaken@gameinformer.com. I am on top of that. So if you need to get a hold of me to get an invite, please send me proof that you subscribed, and I will get you an invite. So if you have any issues, let me know. And yeah, Alex, once again, back to you.
Are you asking for their bank records? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, bank
Please
statement.
send Alex Van Aken your social security card to get into the GI Discord.
Yeah, extensive background check required.
Yeah. We're a positive community. How you think we got that way?
References.
Fraud. Yeah, buying houses not in our own name.
Yeah.
All right. This week we got a good crop here. So starting off with Danny Phantom over on Discord. Danny says, "Hey GI crew, with Dying Light 2 taking a long time to finally complete, in your opinion, what is the ideal game time length?" So this was actually going to be our news of the week, because over the weekend, Dying Light 2 official Twitter tweeted out that Dying Light 2 is going to take 500 hours to complete. And there wasn't a ton of context around that, and the internet lost its collective mind. PR got on the digital horn on Monday, I believe, and kind of clarified a couple of that comment. They were like, I think they said 20 hours if you just mainline story. It was like 80 hours if you did all the side quests and the story, and then it's like if you got all the multiple endings and all that kind of stuff, it was 500 hours. But I think this is a really good question, and I think one that we have talked about maybe either privately or publicly, but like, do you guys have an ideal game length? Alex, I know you had some thoughts on this.
Ideal game. I like short games, but I think this whole conversation was stupid. Of course, it takes a long time to 100% the game. Like, that's every video game. I don't know why we chose this one to get like of course, like 100% of the game is gonna take a couple hundred hours. An open world game, like obviously,
he said 500 hours, which is pretty extreme, and also, like you said, there was no context for it. So
it was just
you could assume that it was to 100%, but some people were like, "Wait, to what?
Beat it?
To just beat it?"
Yeah.
Context clues. First Dying Light was like what, 20 hours. Second one's probably more. I don't know why I got frustrated by it. I think I was just in a bad mood this week.
Well,
I was like, why are we arguing about this?
I was on the other side of it because it did turn me off quite a bit, and I didn't jump on Twitter and complain about it, so I wasn't part of the problem. But I was on the receiving end of like, ooh, do I even want to play this game now? Like, it made me think that extreme, because
that's fair.
There was a period in my life, maybe in high school, when I thought playing a game for 100 hours was sort of appealing and exciting. But it's the max amount of time I want in a game has steadily gone downhill every year since then.
Yeah. And
that's just a fact of life. I know there's people out there who do like long games, and they probably see the 500 hours and they're like, bring it on. Yes.
Yeah.
Pre-ordering now. So it's tricky. I don't know if there's a perfect ideal length for everybody, but for me, I think 6 to 10. Like, I'm content with that.
I'm right there with you, Ben. I think to answer the actual question, I think 12 to 15 hours is perfect campaign length.
Well, and I wish, honestly, stuff like I'm trying to think. There was a stat out there. What, God of War, which is an amazing game. What, 50% of people completed it? Like, there's so many people who buy a game and they just don't finish it. And that game was 30 hours.
I feel like that's even high too, that 50% mark. I feel like in other games it's a lot lower.
Yeah, that is high. And so I think a lot of games just burn themselves out because there's so much content. Looking at you, Ubisoft. And they don't need to be that long.
Correct.
And also, there's probably a market out there of people who would like to play a game for like 2 hours, and they would be happy with a 2-hour game.
Yeah.
So I think there should be more games like that are just short, fun experiences for 2 hours.
If a movie can tell, I feel like if a movie could like tell a good story in like 2 hours, maybe we can make more games that tell that story in 4 hours. Obviously, you need to have moments of interaction, but I think it's possible for sure.
Definitely. John, Kim, you wanna jump in on this? John?
I mean, I will play a game for as long as it's fun. And if the content throughout, like there are games where I'll play them and the hours just melt off and I don't realize I've invested that much. Like I played 50 hours of Slay the Spire last year and I didn't even realize I had like wrapped up that amount of time because it didn't feel like it to me. But I also understand like people like, I try to like we're all we all have jobs, we're adults. I know a lot of kids who buy games, they want something that they can keep coming back to that's not going to be just a few hours of their time that they can really get into. As an RPG fan in general, like I loved really, getting immersed in a world and the characters and not just leaving them after a few hours and having that. But I do agree some games have the issue of padding out content just to like, make the game feel like and then you start and that's where we see problems. But if you can keep like the content engaging and fun, I look at something like The Witcher 3 where that game can be really overwhelming, but the side quests are so well done that you kind of want to do all of them and do as many as possible. Like it was really hard for me when I had to review that game not to go into completionist mode because I wanted to see everything and I saw a good chunk of what I could, but I actually went back and started and replayed another playthrough just because I enjoyed so much what's going on. So I think it really comes down to like, is the game giving you fun activities to do, quests, what's there for the player, and also giving the player options of how much they want to invest too. Like as it is, not every like some people will fly through a game that in like 10-15 hours we're like that always happens. My fiance will finish in like 10-15 hours. I'll play and it'll be like 40 and he'll be like, what the heck did you spend so much time doing? I'm like, I like to look at everything and I like to go off on the beaten path and whatever, but like we just play games differently. So it's a hard question to answer. I don't think there's a right or wrong length. I think for me, as long as you're putting engaging things in the world for players to do, that's what's really matters.
I think Witcher's a good example of that. I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is another one. I spent 100 hours plus on both of those games and didn't feel like they ever dragged or felt like their content was too repeated.
Yep.
And I just think that as an industry, we tend to veer towards including more stuff in a game rather than, all right, let's trim down our content because it's too repetitive. And I think that's bad because when a game comes out that is slightly shorter than the norm, for example, Metroid Dread was 12 hours to beat or something. There was discourse about this game is short. Is this game worth $60? And I don't know. I guess that's kind of frustrating to me because there's obviously games that are $60 and over 100 hours, but 100 hours I spent, I spend half of that time doing meaningless tasks that bore the crap out of me, where Metroid Dread was very, very honed experience, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So I would rather have that than, a filler quest game.
Yeah, 100%. John, did you want to chime in here?
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of it comes down to what type of game it is. I think recently it's been like action games. I'm more so in the camp of like 10 to 20 hours or so. Like Death's Door last year was like the perfect amount of time for that game. But for like an RPG, like I just spent 300 plus hours on Final Fantasy 14 in the last 3 months. So and I loved every second of it. Like it does come down to whether it's compelling content, whether it's keeping itself fresh. But some of it's just perception of how long it should be and how long it should last.
How did you keep yourself fresh when you played that much?
It's, you take a shower every 7 hours or so.
Oh, showers.
Yeah, showers, baths. You bring the laptop in the bathroom with you. But I also get like for open world games, going back to The Witcher 3, I get like decision paralysis, especially when I hear that like most of the side stuff is worth doing, but I know that I should go for the main quest and see that through. But then I'll just like start taking every side thing, and then I'll just end up giving up for whatever reason. But so sometimes having way too much content and not like a clear path towards the good stuff can be a detriment to me. So I see it from a few different angles there, but having really just a good repeatable loop could make a game last for hundreds, thousands of hours. Like you look at people who are playing like League of Legends or fighting games or other like esports titles. Definitely. Those don't have like a set time, and like you could pour all of your effort into those. And
for sure. And I think a lot of this comes down to, and I agree with you guys. I think a lot of it comes down to respecting your time too. And I think that goes with like what Reeve said too, where it's like, I don't mind like something like God of War, right? Like we've talked about a lot of this show, but like God of War is that perfect balance between it has some open world elements, but is also linear. And it has a lot of extra stuff that you can do, right? You can go fight the Valkyries, you can go find every chest, like that kind of stuff. It's great if you want to do it, but it's not necessary, you know? And I appreciate that, because when I feel like it's not forced on me in that way, I'm more apt to do it. You know, if I physically can. I still was never able to beat the Valkyrie Queen. I may try that on my next playthrough of God of War. But anyways,
right on PC.
That'll be a stream series.
60 frames per second. It'll be so much easier.
Yeah,
Alex
we can get
versus
to almost
the
120. Yeah, let's go Alex versus the Valkyries. There we go. Yeah,
do it in widescreen.
Yeah, I like the sound of this. But so, you know, and I guess I can't add much more than y'all have already said. To me, I'm with Reeves though. When I said like Persona 5 is a great example, right? That could be like the greatest thing ever, but I can't do 130 hours in a game anymore. I just don't. That's not enjoyable to me, because I think that's partially part of the job too, because like I literally can't put 130 hours into one game and still be able to talk about what's going on.
How much have you put into Halo in the last month and a half?
I have the same issue.
Put me on blast. I do, but I think that's a good question. You got me stumbling, rumbling here. But it's like, it is content dependent, like you talked about, John. Like, you know, I put probably 80 to 90 hours in Red Dead, you know. But I also still wasn't working here, you know, and I got the benefit of the Christmas break for Halo, right? So
that's true.
But yeah, Halo,
and you get to play it for work.
All I know is Alex is like 20 levels ahead of me, 25 levels ahead of me.
Battle Pass,
and my Steam counter is 52 hours.
Okay,
I'm probably at
playing it on Steam
hours.
Yeah,
he's a madman like that.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it is subjective to the person if they want to spend that much time in it. You know, like sometimes, like in Ghost of Tsushima or like Immortals Phoenix Rising, sometimes the open world stuff is just a checklist you can listen to a podcast and turn your brain off of. Like, if that's what you want, great. That's not what I prefer. More purposeful game design in that way, and those are the games I gravitate to more. You know, like I don't want to clear watchtowers. I want to get overkills. You know, that kind of stuff. So
I was talking with a friend this week because it naturally came up in a Discord conversation, and I inserted myself into that conversation. But my friend was talking about like he sees things as like a dollar to hour value situation for games, and he didn't or like he straight up said like, I don't see how people could look at something that's like 500 hours for like a good game and not want to play it because there's too much to do. And like people like to have that feeling of accomplishment that they finished something, that they saw something through. And I think that's something for me for like for The Witcher or for Cyberpunk, or even like Breath of the Wild. I never finished Breath of the Wild. I did 60 hours of wandering Hyrule, but I never followed through to Ganon's castle. So it's really just like, can you see the end of something, and whether that's your goal or not? Like, that's probably what you need to know going in. Like how much time you actually do want to try to spend in something.
For sure. And I think for me too, it's it's a question of my big dumb brain too. It's like I feel overwhelmed when I look at, like, I'm playing Horizon right now. I get overwhelmed by looking at that map when I open it up because there's so much to do, and I'm very much a person who likes clearing a task list. So like when I see stuff like that, it turns me off to a certain extent because it's like I know what I want to do, and if I'm doing all these side quests, I'm going to be in this for hours and hours and hours, and I don't want necessarily to do that. So I don't know. I'm in the camp of I'm down to pay $60 if I thoroughly enjoy the experience. You know, Metroid, my number 3 game of the year last year. Fantastic game. I was okay that it was 9 to 10 hours because I thought that was almost perfect in what it did in those hours. You know, and that it felt like there was little to no fluff. So that's just me. It's who I am as a person. But I think that's a good talker. We will see if Dying Light 2 justifies its hour count coming up soon here. So.
As annoyed as I was at the conversation, 500, to be fair, 500 hours is a lot of time.
I'm going to clock it. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some deep investigative.
I'm also worried like what that means for the open world. Like if the open world's just going to be clustered with just
towers.
Yeah. Of course that's what it means. Yeah, there's just going to be tons of stuff on your map and tons of little dumb fetch quest things that you're not going to want to do.
Yeah. Hopefully the main story's good.
Yeah. Got Rosario Dawson. But yeah, Reeves, I think I saw both sides of the argument. It turned me off pretty quickly seeing the 500 hours, but we'll see. You know,
I'm glad those games exist. By the way, like people who want to play games for 500 hours, I'm glad there's games out there that they can play and that attract them. I just would love to see more, 2-hour experiences that are well crafted. Like a 2-hour Uncharted would be great. I would love that. I would, replay that from time to time. Like I go rewatch it.
Yeah. Well, Reeves, I got a movie for you coming up here that I think you'll enjoy. It's called Uncharted. Don't know if you're familiar with
what?
It. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. Next community question. Thank you, Danny, for that one. Next one comes from Jonah Abraham from Discord. And Jonah says, "Hi, GI crew. It's my birthday today, and I'm turning 26. Happy freaking birthday, Jonah.
Happy birthday, Jonah.
It's a good week for birthdays.
Yeah. It's like 2 days late, I think, when you'll hear this. But we said happy birthday, and that's what's important. So this
Tell my mom that.
Yeah, if you're listening, Mrs. Reeves.
Doesn't matter if I'm late getting you a happy birthday.
Yeah, he did it. It's 6 weeks late. It's fine.
I did it.
Yeah, he still did it. This means that I'm officially closer to 30 than 20. Hey boy. And it sparks some reflection about my childhood. So, what is the first game you remember playing? Mine is probably Star Wars Attack of the Clones on Game Boy Advance. Not a particularly good game, but I remember it fondly. That's from Jonah. First game.
Easy.
Ooh, easy. What do you got?
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah?
That is the first game I remember.
Okay.
So I think that has to be the first game that I played.
There you go. Did you
this
just
is the first game ever released, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was the context around it? Yeah, first game ever released.
My parents got my sister and I a NES with like the zapper and all of that for Christmas. I was like 2. And I just remember it being on a TV in the first house that I lived in. That's like my earliest memory. So shaped who I am today. It's been all video games all the time since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you got there, VA? Or is that you don't know?
That's me trying to find the name of a very specific video game.
He actually hasn't played one yet.
Yeah, I haven't
played a game. Yeah.
Go next, because I have a game in my head. I just need to figure out which one it was.
Okay. Reeves?
Well, I was going to say, I think I've shared this story on the podcast before, but I have a really vivid memory that's probably like fabricated, honestly, because I have vivid memory of playing some Batman game in arcades, some side-scrolling Batman game.
Oh.
And I've tried to look up Batman arcade games around the time, it would have been like in the 80s. So, but I can't. If somebody knows that this game exists, let me know, please. Ben@GameInformer.com. But I have this weird. Maybe it wasn't a Batman game, and I just thought it was. But there's some side-scrolling game where a guy was beating up thugs, and he looked like Batman, kind of.
Okay.
So that was the first game I remember playing. But also around that time, I remember playing a lot of Tapper. not a lot. I mean, whenever I
Okay.
could to like get a quarter
Mm.
as like a youth. But this was the old school tapper with. It was at a bar
At a
that
bar,
we used
yeah.
to go to. Kid friendly bar, I guess. But
I was gonna say,
They all
Bar and
were.
Grill.
I was a
Yeah.
bit of a lush. But yeah, it was the old school tapper that had Budweiser on there still. And it had
Oh,
the
wow.
like
Oh,
tap
okay.
style Budweiser
Yeah.
knob on it.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else like kind of grow up in bowling alleys and bars?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Or pizza shops
Yeah.
with arcade
Yes.
cabinets.
Yeah.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
A lot of
Yeah.
pizza.
A lot of
Different
pizza.
time. Different time.
Different
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
I found the one I remembered. Well, number one, the first one that I really remember is Altered Beast, but it's that, which was my dad's game because my dad was a big gamer,
Mm-hmm.
and we played co-op on that. And of course, I was a kid; we didn't get far. But the one I was trying to remember, the specific one, the other one is Bugs. There was a Bugs Bunny game I played on Sega Masters or Sega Genesis, and I looked it up and found it. It's Bugs Bunny and Double Trouble on
Yep.
Sega
Classic.
Genesis, and
I remember that one.
that's one of my first gaming memories.
Okay.
So
That's cool. Nice.
specifically the bull level where you're in the bull pit or the matador pit,
Mhm.
and there's that you could go down the ladder and hide from the bull in like the underground tunnel. That's like the specific memory. But I found it. Yeah, it's Bugs Bunny and Double Trouble.
Double Trouble. I'm gonna look this game up. Kim, do you have a first memory?
It's hard because I feel like my memory, I can't remember which one in particular. There's like a lot going around in my head. I remember like obviously Super Mario, but we also had an Atari, and me and my brother played a lot of Donkey Kong on there, and Dr. J versus Larry Bird in particular was a big one.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could like smash the backboard with your dunks. And so those are like the earliest memories, but I couldn't tell you which one and all that because I remember we had a Nintendo, but we also had an Atari. But I feel like my dad had like given us the Atari when we already had the Nintendo because it was just laying around. So I can't even remember what came first in my household. I just know that that's what we were playing probably the most when I was young. So I don't want to lie to people about what my first game was. I don't really remember, but it was somewhere in there in one of those.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think for me, the timeline is messy, like Kim said. I have two though, but I don't know what came first. So there was an after school program I used to go to in like kindergarten, and I think I've told the story a little bit before, but and all the older kids had Game Boys, and I didn't know what this witchcraft was. So they would let me, the nice ones. There were some jerks, but the nice ones would like let me play, and the first one I really remember playing was Pokemon Red because someone
Nice.
had that on the Game Boy, and it just like instantly like brain blast like took me right away, and I think that is the first one because then because my mom played arcade games. She wasn't a gamer, but like she definitely played. And I remember, I think this was a response to me wanting a Game Boy. But y'all remember, I have this vivid memory of it. It was like this silver, almost like Fisher Price type like Game Boy knockoff that just had Space Invaders on it, and like you opened the screen, but then it was like a mirror on the back of it, so it's like it projected that way. And I just remember going ham on Space Invaders with that thing, and I think that was her way of like getting me a Game Boy without like getting me a Game Boy at the time, So and I'm sure she just got it in like the Toys R Us for like $15 or whatever it was at the time, but like it was a cool intro like between those two games like that and Pokemon. It was like, okay, video games are fun. I can dig this. I don't know if anyone remembers one of those handheld devices. Hit me up, but yeah, I think that's where it all started for yours truly. Nice little trip down memory lane there.
Yeah.
Finally, last email, and then we'll say goodbye. Camus Cthulhu over on Discord says, "What is an aspect of games that is underappreciated or more subtle, but still takes intentionality and effort to create or curate?" Things like gameplay or art direction or voice acting are talked about and have awards for, but what are some of the less noticeable things that can make a real difference in a game? I don't know about y'all, but instantly when I hear this question, and there are awards for this, but sound design comes to mind. I feel like we don't give sound design enough credit for how immersive our game experiences are. People have to master that VO you're listening to, right? Like, Lady D doesn't sound as good as and imposing as she does without, that sound team really mastering her sound, helping mold that, what that sounds like. And then two, like, I remember, was it Battlefield 1 when they went back to World War 1 and the Battlefield series in general just being so bombastic, and like especially if you had like great headphones on or like surround sound, being totally immersed in that just level of chaos and explosions and bombast, right? And that is like 70% the sound department, right? Like I think it's the same. It's very similar in like movies and TV, right? Where I think people appreciate what's visually there in front of you, but really like sound plays a much larger role in it. But it's, since you hear it, it's not as forefront in your mind. So I definitely think shout out to all the sound departments, and they got cool jobs, man. They get to go and blast watermelons for sound design stuff. Like that's just cool. So that's me.
I think we all love to find a good treasure chest. Think of the people who have to figure out where to place those things all
Devious
over the
human
map.
beings.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And make it so it's fun and rewarding when you find it. Like somebody, especially in open world games, has to like look at that whole map and be like, this is where we should hide this one. Oh, it's a waterfall. We got to put a chest under,
Right?
under there. Like, I think that's like probably an art that, seems simple on the surface, but probably there's a lot more that goes into that than we even realize.
Yeah.
And this isn't like the people who make the thing. This is like an aspect of the game that's underappreciated, or an aspect of a developer that's underappreciated.
I think it can be either. Depends on where you want to go with it.
Were you done, Kim?
Yeah.
The first thing that came to mind for me was menu design, because people really don't think about it at all when you're interacting with a game. But when you see a bad menu design, you're like, ooh, this just looks like Helvetica, and they just slapped it on here.
Comic Sans, what's going on here?
Great answer, Ben.
There's an element of graphic design that goes into that, and a lot of, I want to say, iteration, where again, when it's done well, you're not even paying attention to it.
Yep.
Nobody's ever like, this is slick. Occasionally a game like Persona will pop up and be like, ooh, this is so stylish, I gotta give it props, but it's so rare.
And you can be on the opposite side, like 2018's God of War, that took a lot of heat for its menu, and I know small text has also been an issue in games, probably for
Can't
a
believe
while,
that's still an issue we're having.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, no, but that's a really good call out. I appreciate that.
Mine might be a little bit, I don't know if it's exactly in spirit, but I'd say just like technical polish and QA. I think there's a lot to be said for developers that can play within the constraints of an engine or the power of a console and still have it look and run well. And the people who are likely behind a lot of that is going to be the QA teams, finding those places where like slowdown might happen, or if they're using variable frame rate or variable resolution, like where that stuff would like drop considerably. I think when at least like these days, when like frame rates start getting out of control and like dropping considerably, it's starting to take people more and more out of the game and the experience. And I think people's eyes are a little bit more attuned to that now that everything's getting like super high resolutions and super high frame rates as well. People are just more sensitive to it. So I think that aspect of building a game is severely overlooked and under celebrated.
Yeah, I feel like QA is the thing that you grow up wanting to do as a kid, but then the more you learn about it, it's like, oh, No, I do not.
It's
wanna
hard
do
work.
that. Yeah.
very hard.
Mhm.
It's hard.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone who's doing it. That's a really good call out, John. Alex, you want to take us home?
Yeah. I think the wizard's responsible for like game feel. Like
Ooh.
the little things like camera shake, like in platformers when you like jump or land, like something happens on the screen to like just give you that reinforce that feel. And even things like in Halo Infinite, the game feels much faster. I think there's like some FOV tricks going on, but
Mm.
also like the little things like when you sprint in that game, there's like the speed lines
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like you don't notice unless you like sit there and look at the image.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, what is on this screen? And oh yeah, there are these like white speed lines that are like making me feel faster. Like little things like that.
When you run in real life, you don't see speed lines.
No, I don't.
No,
I do see stars.
You're not
sometimes.
Naruto running, right? That's why.
Yeah, you gotta arms back all the way.
Yeah.
Little things like that help game feel, or even like when you're aiming down a scope in Apex Legends, and the front of the gun, everything in front of the reticle, in front of the red dot, blurs so that you focus on the red dot. Little tricks like that to just like polish an experience really impresses me. Yeah, and makes a difference, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Well, just shout out to the game devs. You know, they're working hard. They're making amazing stuff. So we appreciate y'all very, very much. So, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you, the panel here. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate the viewers, the listeners. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Sure, like, share, and subscribe. You know the thing, but it really does help us, especially the reviews and the subscriptions. That is fantastic. So we appreciate y'all for doing that. Please let us know if you liked this draft. We had a lot of fun doing it, but I'm curious what y'all think as well. Be sure to look for the polls that we'll put out to see to crown me the winner of that draft. I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know, and then like I said, next week we will be announcing the winner. Their prize will be in the mail. It'll be a glorious moment for whoever takes that home. So thank you. Stick with us. Video game season's heating up yet again. We got some fun stuff coming your way over the next couple of weeks, and looking forward to getting to discuss it with y'all as always. So be good to one another, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.